Good day, every pony. It is the fabulous Brony Joe here. Just want to give a take before I start reading the story. Glad for all the subscribers who have subscribed to me and all the people who have watched my videos. It truly means a lot to me. Love you all. And yeah, I did do a Licious video of Shadow Knight, if you all remember from the In Love with the Beautiful Mare story, which I truly do need to finish that, except those are the only 2 chapters the author has written. And I looked like 2 minutes ago. So yeah. Right, anywho, we got another chapter for you guys. It's chapter 20. Oh my god. There's this chapter and then 2 more. But as I promised, when I read chapter 20, I'd read the author's note first before. And the author's note really isn't that that long, so I'll be happy to read it. But I'm going to read it at the end. So yeah, I'll get on with the story. Chapter 19. Boom, bitches. Rainbow Dash woke up to screaming from another hospital room. What was going on in there? She asked herself. She could hear a manly voice screaming. She saw doctors running past her room. What was going on? She got up, slightly witching in pain. Rarity and Twilight soon passed her door. Rarity looked really angry, and Twilight looked distraught. Twilight looked up, but she couldn't quite meet Rainbow Dash's gaze. They both stopped outside her door. Rarity opened it, and they both came in, sitting down. Rainbow Dash? Rarity began. It's really hard to tell you this, Twilight carried on, but Spike tried to kill himself last night. Rainbow Dash's eyes widened. Her heart sank. He didn't succeed, did he? She said loudly, but it wasn't a shout. Something was keeping her from shouting. No. He nearly did, though. He sent a knife through his curse. I found him in his bed this morning, Twilight said, looking down. Rainbow Dash burst out in tears. He was screaming at me, telling me it was all my fault. Rarity said. Rainbow Dash's eyes widened. Of course it's not your fault, Rarity. It's my fault for turning everyone against him. It's no one's fault, okay? Twilight decided. Rarity nodded, and eventually so did Rainbow Dash. Although Rainbow Dash knew it was her fault, she let Twilight have this moment. I want to see him, she said. Dashy, you can barely move without crying, Twilight said. It was true, but she'd put up with extreme amounts of pain to see Spike. I don't care, she said, moving slightly. She winced, but kept moving. Eventually, she stood up, smiled proudly at Twilight, who raised an eyebrow. Fine, grab on that water thing and let's go, Twilight said. Rainbow Dash grabbed onto the pole with the water, and that fed into her arms. They began moving. Dashy cried out the pain, and Twilight raised an eyebrow. Don't mind me. I must go and see Spike, she said. Twilight sighed. but let her carry on moving. Eventually, she arrived next door. Spike was crying, laying in bed, sedated. Her heart was pounding, and she ran towards him, pain hitting her with every move. Twilight arrived home. She said Spike was okay. She still felt like something had gone on. Something was missing. Like she had a gaping hole in her heart. She needed to find out what it was. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. She gasped in shock. No one had ever came around her house. No one ever. She answered the door, and there, in all her glory, was a great and powerful Trixie. A smile automatically came on to Twilight's face. "Trixie! You're here. You're here. You came to visit," she said. Trixie nodded, stepping inside and closing the door. "I couldn't stay away from you, Twilight," Trixie said, putting her arms around Twilight's waist. Twilight giggled. "Oh, Trixie, you're such a sweetheart." She smiled. Trixie's lips were a mere centimeter away. And tempting lips they were. They moved closer, and Twilight's heart began to race. Suddenly, that missing thing had came back. The love of her life, Trixie, had arrived again. Their lips met, and Twilight felt whole again. Applejack was walking down the street. She didn't know what was going on anymore. Suddenly, her perfect life had been destroyed. Her friends falling out, getting ill, attempting suicide. She didn't know what to do anymore. She sighed, tears threatening to fall again. She had been weak last night. Big Mac had seen her at her worst. She had to show him she was strong. But right now, she couldn't. Right now, she wasn't strong. She didn't have the strength to be strong. She saw that she was nearly at Twilight's house. Hopefully she was in. Twilight was amazing at making Applejack feel good. She walked up to the door and knocked. She heard giggling inside, two voices, females. She heard Twilight whispering, and soon the door was answered. Twilight was in a white shirt and all purple underwear. That was it. Twilight smiled and tilted her head. "Hey, Applejack, what are you here for?" she said. Applejack gulped. "I need your help, Twi. I need your help. I need you to help me through this. I can't handle it anymore," she said. Twilight looked to her right, where Applejack couldn't see. There were more giggling, and Twilight soon joined in. She looked back at Applejack. "Sorry, Applejack. I can't. I'm busy right now. I would, but I really can't," Twilight said. Applejack raised an eyebrow. "Who's in there?" "No one," she snapped before slamming the door in Applejack's face. There was more giggling. Applejack pressed her ear against the door. "I love you," she heard a female voice saying. Applejack's eyes widened even further. Who was there? She sneaked away. What the hell was going on now? Twilight pushed Trixie onto her bed, climbing on top of her. Trixie smiled, placing her hand on Twilight's thigh. Twilight bent down to kiss Trixie passionately. Trixie had so much love passing through her body. She just wanted to make love to Twilight every minute of every hour of every day. Twilight was just so tempting. So lovely, so hot. Twilight began taking off the little clothes Trixie wore, and Trixie closed her eyes and enjoyed what Twilight was about to give her. Well, every pony. Apparently, the great and powerful Trixie is in this now. And like I promised, I'd read the author's note at the end, so I will read the author's note. Hiya there. What if I was to tell you that I'm willing to record myself reading a chapter of this story? Whichever one. Putting it on YouTube and then linking it to the next chapter coming up. Or that chapter. What would you guys say to that? Would you like to hear my English voice? Comment. Also, thanks for being amazing, guys. That support I've gotten from you guys, even just by calling me amazing, has gotten me through so much. You've had me feel good about myself, and I love you all for that. If you have any suggestions about this or other stories, just message me. I'll most probably reply with my view on your idea. It will probably be a good view. I couldn't be mean to you guys. Well, guys, that's the author's note. That's the note, what the author said. And apparently she doesn't know that someone is reading her story for her. Woohoo! I'm reading it for her. And someone else did too. I would possibly put that up a video response, but I'm doing it differently. And if you all know Prince of Penguins, I'm doing it how he's doing it. And yes, it's kind of like copywriting. Don't report me, please. I'm a good brony. It's the only bad thing I've done. I'm only doing the intros and outro videos, and reading the story and reading the chapter and the chapter name. But yeah. Just 2 more chapters, guys, and we done with the story. Just chapter 20 and 21. See you all later. Bye.